The 18th ASEAN Summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, held recently in Jakarta, was supposed to focus on plans to create a regional economic zone by 2015. Instead, the border row between Thailand and Cambodia overwhelmed the discussion and overshadowed formal agenda. In this report, Akanit Wichienjaran speaks to a renowned scholar discussing the results of the summit.
Director of the Thammasat University Research and Consultancy Institute, Prapat Thepchatree, said the 18th ASEAN Summit did not sufficiently address any of the issues called for by the Indonesian president in his opening remarks as chair of ASEAN in 2011.
But I think Indonesia hope to come up with a lot of highlights, a big achievement for this summit. But I am disappointed that it didn't turn out that way.
The only discussion considered successful was on ASEAN's need to maintain centrality in the upcoming East Asia Summit, in which the United States and Russia will participate for the first time. Despite the US's plan to focus on security issues, ASEAN plans to bring forth its own issues of interest, including health, education, disaster management, and energy cooperation. But aside from that, Prapat said there was no concrete progress in building the ASEAN community, no clear position on ASEAN's role in the global community post-2015. The joint statement released merely said that ASEAN needs to have a common platform and a coordinated position on global issues.
I think that have to be more concrete than this summit. In terms of the community building process, I think we should push for a more ambitious goals.
Instead, the formal agenda of the summit was overshadowed by the border row between Thailand and Cambodia. The issue was put under the spotlight when the Cambodian Prime Minister accused Thailand of prolonging the armed conflict in order to violate weaker neighboring ASEAN members. The Thai Prime Minister dismissed the accusation, reiterating that any problem should be solved bilaterally and, if needed, with the facilitation of the region. In an effort to moderate the border row, the Indonesian president hosted an informal meeting with the Thai and Cambodian leaders, but failed to achieve a breakthrough in negotiations. While Thailand agreed to accept Indonesian military observers, the observers are yet to be dispatched due to disagreements over troop locations. Prapat said that Thailand needs to accept that the border dispute has already become an international issue and needs to adjust its policy and allow ASEAN to serve as a mediator.
I think that
UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have already publicly backed ASEAN's mediation role.
Because we are stubborn, we still try to limit the issue to be a bilateral issue. That's why we don't want Indonesia to come in. But maybe it's about time that we should accept the fact that this is go beyond bilateral issue and then try to bring in Indonesia to play a real mediating role.
Since February, 18 have been killed and 85,000 people have been forced to evacuate in weeks of clashes on the border. ASEAN leaders said that the dispute could undermine ASEAN's unity and credibility, and compromise is needed to move forward. On the Thai side, perhaps accepting that the border row has already become an international issue is a start. Akanit Wichienjaran of Thai News Agency, ASEAN TV.